Hello Wanderers, welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series following Clan Stjarna, and as we pick things back up, a few years has passed since the last episode. As you will remember, there is a war going on between our ally, the King of Sardinia, and West Francia. However, despite our assistance in sieging down some French lands and participating in a few small battles, we have not been able to make any headway in that war. It has been mostly a stalemate for this entire time, a little bit of back and forth. So, unfortunately, we did have to recall our troops because we have our own matters to attend to at home. We did provide what assistance we could to the Sardinians, but we need to manage our own affairs. And our own affairs involve our rightful place as the King of Navara. Now, as you can see, the King of Aquitaine, King Rambo, is in a battle with the Malik of Alsark, and this provides us with something of an opportunity to claim our own independence here and the crown of Navara, as we are the ones who should be rightfully leading this Reconquista, and not King Rambo. Now, he is a powerful warrior, he is strong at arms, but he is not a good ruler by any means. He is reasonably capable despite his inbred status. Actually, if he were not inbred, he would probably be an amazing leader, in fact. But to that end, there is just something off about him, and we will be attempting to take what is rightfully ours, the throne of Navara. And his distraction provides us with our best opportunity to do so, and so we shall declare war for our claims on the Kingdom of Navara. Now, as you can see, he does have his forces gathered up here in our lands, so we are going to raise all of our armies, and then we are going to use some of our funds, which we have saved up, to hire some mercenaries. Now, I would like to hire some pretty useful mercenaries, perhaps this band of Geneva. They've got quite a few troops. I'd like to hire maybe some of these guys, but we don't have the funds for that. So here we go. We are going to hire the Genevan band, gather up our forces here in Pamplona, and we are going to call in our allies as well. So we can call in not the Duke of Aquitaine because he is one of our enemy's vassals, but we will call in the King of Sardinia and the Duke of Neustria to assist us in this fight. Here we go. The King of Sardinia probably won't be able to provide much aid, but he may be able to provide some. What I would like to do potentially... Okay, looks like the enemy army, I wonder if our best shot, they do outnumber us quite a bit. I don't think that we're going to want to fight them here in the mountains. Right now, I think we might be better off meeting up with the Neustrians. I wonder, can we take them in this battle? They outnumber us pretty significantly. I think we might want to pull back a little bit here. Wait for our Neustrian allies. Once they do get in, they should be able to give us the advantage. So we may as well lay siege to the enemy while we do that. And with any luck, the forces of Alsark will provide something of a distraction for our enemies here. And that should potentially give us something of an advantage. Yeah, they do have 7,500 troops. So perhaps our best advantage would be to maybe do some sieges, as you can see here, and then go in and try to draw them out for a battle. We can get a new perk, Sappers, that's going to make us siege down faster, which is exactly what we want in this situation. We can switch to a commander who is good at siege as well, such as Count Mandak. We enjoy a nice day with the brilliant sun. There we go. Count Mandak is going to assist us with that siege. There we go. And then we're going to probably go down and assist the Neustrians with the siege of Bordeaux. Now, as you can see, the enemy king is himself in Bordeaux. He has been caught there, and that should potentially give us an opportunity to capture him if we do take the city. Now, that would be a quick and swift end to the war, which is pretty much exactly what we would hope for in this situation. We don't really want to weaken the forces of Aquitaine that much. It does not appear that we have captured the enemy king, so we are going to simply go and try to draw the enemy out. With any luck, they will think that there's an advantage here in attacking us in potentially our own lands here in Irun, while they siege down the enemy forces here. The question is, will they actually come for us? Let's see what happens after they siege down this county here. They may see this as an opportunity to come and try to bring the battle to us. They do outnumber our forces here, but the Neustrians are close. The Neustrians are close and may potentially make it in time. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to draw them out. We're going to try to get a battle here in Irun. And looks like they are coming for us. So I think this is probably our best opportunity. With the Neustrians and this defensive advantage, I think we should be able to win this fight. Yeah, look, the Neustrians are coming in now, and the enemy forces have split up. So although it says the enemy has the advantage now, once the Neustrians get in, I'm reasonably confident. Oh, we want to switch out from Katmandak. There we go. Get ourselves a better commander. Is there anybody who could potentially be better? Oh, maybe Gonzalo. Yeah, because he does have this advantage, minimum battle roll in mountains. That is going to be pretty helpful here. So we are going to put our Marshal Gonzalo Ramirez in command of our forces here, and that should spin the tide, relatively speaking, in our favor here, especially once our allies do make it into the battle. So as you can see here, the Battle of Irun is going on, and hopefully we will be successful here. The enemy does look like they are going to get here. Look, the allied forces are quicker to join us than the enemy's reinforcements, and that should give us the advantage here. There are quite a few injuries and slayings going on though. So as you can see here though, the enemy forces have joined in, and now this kind of grand battle fought in the mountains of Irun here is turning in our favor, and things do look to be going well. Count Mandak wounded Duke Anso, once one of our allied dynasties, no longer the case. And here we go. Will this be a decisive battle? Will this give us enough war score to claim victory? Almost, but not quite enough. We may need to lay siege to one more place at the very least. We will look at the details of this battle because that was quite a big battle. As you can see, we did lose 1,100 men, but they lost 2,000, and that turns the tide a little bit in our favor. Quite a bit, actually. As you can see, we now outnumber the enemy army quite a bit. Forgot to look at the injuries and wounded characters there. But if you do want to go and see that, then you can just zoom back a little bit in the video and take a look at what we lost there. We will lay siege to the Duchy of Armagnac, and with any luck that will give us the win here in the war. They might try to siege down. Oh, they might try to come in and go for one more battle, maybe against the Neustrians, but we are going to go to our former king, the enemy king, King Rambo, and we are going to tell him that we are coming to the peace table. You have a war that you need to deal with Al-Sark, and we have, as you can see, justified our claim on the kingdom of Navara. Let us go on our separate ways with a peace between us so that we might both deal with the invasions coming from the south in our own way. Let us not let this war linger any longer. Let no more lives be lost, because our soldiers are better off facing the Muslim threat to the south. I think that this is how we are going to pose this to King Rainbow, and despite the fact that no doubt he will not care much for this deal, I think he knows that he has no choice, so we are going to enforce those demands. And as you can see here, once those demands are accepted, which no doubt they will be, King Rainbow: greetings, uncle. Tales of your misdeeds are told from Ireland to Cathay. You are a much greater foe than I imagined. In order to put an end to this bloodshed, I will comply with your demands. As you can see, Satordi remains undefeated in wars. Although he has lost one battle, he did win that epic battle here in the mountains of Eirun. And thus, as you can see, we have named ourselves the King of Navara. Now, I am going to do a little cut here as we get our character fit for a king. So, here stands Satordi, King of Navara, and what a long journey this man has come on. As a young man, just 15 years old, he set forth, and with a force of men who were loyal to him in the name of his father, King Styrkar of Bjarmaland, he carved out a piece of land where his mother once hailed from, here in Navara. And with that, he embarked upon an adventure that few men would ever hope to achieve. He took land from the Muslim rulers of Navara, and then deciding that his best option at the time was to swear fealty to his cousin, the King of Aquitaine, with whom he had good relations. We continued our journey, gaining strength, gaining notoriety, gaining nobility, and with that, we embarked upon another adventure, returning home to Bjarmaland at the head of an army alongside our brother Vigfús, installing him as a good Catholic Christian king in the land of our home. Once we returned, our cousin, the King of Aquitaine, died, and the crown of Navara passed to his son. But really, the crown of Navara obviously belonged to us. We were the ones who carved this realm out with our blood, with the blood of our family, with the blood of our good Nordvina soldiers and our Basque subjects. And now, as we stand here, glorious in our victory, we can call ourselves the King of Navara, and thus manifesting our ultimate destiny. So here stands King Satordi, King of Navara. Now we do still have wars that are going on, as you can imagine. We do now have to deal ourselves with the Holy War for the Duchy of Aragon. That was what the war we were fighting for was, so we will now attempt to call in our allies into this war as well. So this is essentially really the only thing we can do at this time in order to defend our lands. Now, Aquitaine will not have to deal with this themselves, but we shall prove ourselves the greatest glory. Come closer, I have a story I wish to tell you, my daughter, Beliskita says, beckoning me towards the fire. It is a story of when Ein of Kliak and I became rivals. Yes, my rival. She narrows her eyes in consideration and continues to tell the story as the flames from the bonfire lick the night sky. Those around you, your friends, your advisors, even your rivals, they are the ones who matter. Keep them close, especially your enemies. I think that we would listen to this, and I think we will grow a friendship with our daughter, Belaskita, who was, as you remember, disfigured in that last episode. We are going to need to resupply our armies, so we are going to split our forces when we get the opportunity here, and resupply before we go to deal with the forces of Alsark. So there we go. We're going to leave some inlay board. Royal visit. My courtier Aramun has insisted on seeing me, even though I've made it known I would rather be alone. My serene king, it has now been a long while since you last showed yourself at court. We will not... well, okay, very well. We shall pay a visit to our court here. We shall see what matters need our attention as we go and join this war. A flock of robed men burst into the throne room, hectically searching the floor and uprooting everything from chairs to skirts in frantic search. King Satordi, cries one, we are followers of Dan the Headless, a great holy man who has been decapitated as part of a prophecy God gave him at birth. As often happens with holy figures, his head started rolling away. We have been chasing it through the land and are certain it rolled up the hillock to your castle. I will not allow you to rummage through my court for some ridiculous notion such as that. We will not be holding court just yet. We will be gathering up our forces here. We'll leave some in a rune so they can resupply. And then once that is done, can we call in perhaps... Oh no, we do not want to disband our forces. No, the Templars cannot be called in. I don't think we will need them anyways, but it cannot hurt. I don't want to spend too much time getting supplies. I don't want to allow the enemy much time to siege down our lands here. I will take maybe just a month or two, get ourselves up to a reasonable amount of supplies. Yeah, there we go. Well supplied. And now this army is well supplied. Perfect. And the Neustrians looks like they hired some mercenaries as well, so that's going to give us a pretty good advantage. So let's gather up our forces here. We will lead them ourselves, even though we are getting rather up there in age. And now we will go and try to catch the enemy before they can win this siege. Will we? Looks like we're going to get them. The forces of Neustria will presumably be here in time, so let us see if we can catch the enemy forces here and deal with them essentially immediately. And look at this, we are going up against Malik Murad, the Impaler of Alsark himself. We do have the advantage in this battle, even though the enemy forces have been reinforced. The Neustrians are coming, and we probably wouldn't even need them anyways. I will remember to take a look at the casualties of our knights at this point. But as you can see here, this battle is more than won, and thus proving that we are the ones who should have been in charge of defending these lands in the first place. So here we go, just cleaning up the enemy forces there. We have almost won the war already. Our best bet here, I think, is to take Burhana, and then we're going to go and just siege our way in, if necessary, to the enemy lands. Oh, and okay, here. I'm very forgetful. We will look at the knights. So as you can see, Sheikh Muhammad of Uzay, pronounced that French for some reason, was slain by Count Mandek. And as you can see, some injuries. The Malik here, the new Malik, was injured in that battle as well. As you can see, just in general, the enemy forces stood no chance. Did we suffer any losses? No. We have an overwhelming amount of knights, and they really stood no chance. Malik Murad, the Impaler, he died of old age, 64 years old, and he did not get to see what would be eventually his country falling in this war. So here we are, as you can see, laying siege to the enemy lands, while at home, our wife, Oneka, our beloved, has died. How can a heart endure this kind of pain without breaking? It cannot be possible yet. Here I am, my heart beating on, whilst yours has gone quiet. Oh, Oneka, my beloved, life will not be the same without you. Horrifically sad, but age does come upon us. We are 58 years old. Our wife was, I believe, the same age as us. Maybe, yes, she did die at 58 years of age as well. And here we go. As you can see, we have won this battle. We have captured Prince Jalil. We shall ransom you back. For the 9 gold that you can offer. But we will also enforce our demands here. We will win this holy war. That means that we will get 200 prestige, split amongst our allies, and some piety here. And he will have to pay 489 ducats to us. So that is pretty awesome. As you can see, that puts him severely in the red when it comes to money. So I don't think we're going to have to worry about Alsark anytime soon, as you can imagine. And now potentially we can go and assist our allies once again. There's no end to the wars here, but we won't be leading the forces ourselves. We will simply put our marshal in charge. To the Serene King Satordi of Navara, I have been corresponding with your Chancellor, Count Mandak, and I must say I've come to see you in a new light. Perhaps you are even someone I would call as a friend. Caliph al-Mundir ibn al-Mundir IV of the Muwalladi Caliphate potentially wants to be our friend. That's actually kind of an interesting prospect, is it not? I don't see why we would be necessarily completely opposed to this idea. Obviously, Alsark is our enemy, but Al-Andalus could potentially be a temporary ally. Perhaps. A faction does want to send an ultimatum. We're not going to bother listening to that. Can we potentially deal with the enemy forces here? We shall see. But we can hold courts as the first time as king here of Navara. So let us hear our petitioners as we sit on our throne, the throne of Navara. Let us see who comes to speak with their king. My vassal, Mayor Blanca, approaches the throne with a young man in tow. My liege, my king, she spouts. My brother, Yaku of Vizcaya, seeks the honor of serving in your retinue of knights. Please give him the opportunity. Let us take a look at this young man. He is not particularly great, more focused on betting women and on money than anything, but I think we shall accept. We will lose stress because we are gallant, and we will give this young man a chance to become a knight. Over the last few days, I've heard tell of a mighty hero of the peasantry who has won the hearts and minds of the common people through incredible deeds and matchless bravery. This man goes by the name of Baldir and has been defending the small folk from the French raiders, and now has traveled the way to Pamplona to seek an audience with me. There is no doubt that Baldir is a great hero. However, my court are adamant that I do not elevate a commoner beyond their station. We could reward him with a place in our household. We could make him a knight. I am highly inclined towards that idea. We could potentially give him the county of Laborde. This is, what? I think this man here, he is a Nordvina, he is a Catholic, he is an excellent warrior, and he's been defending us from the French raiders, obviously meaning the Aquitanian raiders who have been coming to the land. Should we give him Laborde, the land that he has probably been defending this whole time? I think a true hero deserves a position worthy of their skills. We are gallant. We were once a knight ourselves. I think we would appreciate this. So indeed, we shall give him this position. That does anger our own nobility, but they'll get over it. My lord, I regret to inform you that I am at the end of my tether. My spymaster, Prince Bishop Ricolfear, is clearly exasperated. The people over which I rule are an uncontrollable mob of unruly barbarians with ridiculous customs and a terrible taste for food. All my efforts so far have been in vain. It just seems impossible to make civilized people out of them. I am afraid a strong intervention from above is the only solution. You know what? I think that we respect the tradition of all our subjects, our Basque subjects and our Nordvina subjects alike, and our Prince Bishop should know to do so as well. Our business here is done. I would like to set my levels of court grandeur. We can't afford too much, but I think we can afford decent fashion, food, lodgings. We can probably afford kind of a middling level here. We will have the Finnic language as our court language. I think that would be probably our best option in that regard. I don't see too many other options. We do speak other languages such as Norse, but that does not fit for our language. As you can see here, Yaku de Vizcaya is now defending our throne. So hopefully he doesn't get under too many of our maids' skirts and pays more attention to his job than anything. So as you can see, here we are in our lands. We do have our forces here potentially assisting with the siege. We are running slowly out of our supplies, so we will let this war kind of pass by here and see what goes on with that. We have another son from our heir, Prince Sumarlithi. We shall name him, I believe we shall name him, he already has one son who is named after our father Styrkar, so perhaps we shall name him after a good Basque name, Yemeno. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. We can get another martial lifestyle perk, and we are going to go and get strategist here. There we go. And we're going to switch over to authority focus now that we are the king. We are going to justify our authority. This war has just been going on forever. My God. I don't know. 7 years. This 7 years war over an artifact. This is ridiculous. I think at a certain point we're just going to have to say, you know what? Like, we're done. We're done. We're returning our troops home. Sardinia, like, we can't fight this 7-year war over an artifact for you. Like, that makes no sense. It's a ridiculous notion. And look at this, we are still first in line to inherit the throne of Biarmaland. And our son here is also high up there in the line. He is actually first in line to inherit the throne of Biarmaland. Interesting. So the two kingdoms, Navara and Biarmaland, could potentially be consolidated in the future. Looks like our brother did get a new wife who is from our dynasty and rather young, but well, I guess that is what it is. Let time pass and we shall simply rule our country in something of peace for now. Perhaps we shall go on a bit of a development spree as well. We can build our Count Grafen has decided to come and pay submission to us. I wait patiently on my throne for the arrival of the Count, who is soon ushered before me. He kneels in deference, offering nothing but his oath. Serve me well, Count, and you shall do well. I would like to potentially get some military camps in our capital. As much as possible, we do need to build up our army. We do not have the largest army of any of the kings of these lands, but it could potentially be enough. Of all the buffoonery I have seen, Count Mandak's inane efforts to improve my relations with my neighbors has given King Rainbow a claim on Le Board, which is completely understandable, but not something that we are keen on. We do have an empty counselor position, and that should go to somebody who is quite capable, potentially. Is there anybody who would make a good steward? Yeah, okay, Count Mandak. No, okay, you are going to... We're going to reassign you, and then we're going to put Count Mandak in charge of that. And that should be a good fit for now. That is our new council. So yeah, we're just going to kind of let some time kind of pass here, and finally, in peace. The kingdom finally has some level of peace. And we can focus on our family, our dynasty, on developing our lands. We can continue to build up these lands. We can build some outposts here, and just in general, continue to build an excellent country here in Navara. Jarl Pudak has approached me, claiming he discovered who was behind the murder of the King of Denmark. We are not going to pay 300 gold for that information. Sorry, Jarl Pudak, but that is not worth it to us. As you can see, we are slowly building up here in age and in the greatness of our country. Let us perhaps build up here in Zaragoza as well. Fellow servant of the Lord, as our Order of the Knights Templar grow, we need more land to organize defense of the Catholic faith. You want the city of Olite? Where's that? Okay. In Tudela? We will gain 200. You know what? I think we will support the Knights Templar. They have provided us a lot of aid, and they are going to be particularly useful here in our potential wars against Elsark. Oh, but as you can see, a prisoner in my own body. I knew that getting older would mean doing everything slower, but I didn't think it would all come to a halt until my death. Lately, I feel a constant malaise, and everything takes more effort than before. I am worried that if I lie down, I might not be able to get up again. There's no doubt that my time is running out. I feel like I can do naught but await death's sweet embrace to claim me. We have become infirm. We near the end of our life, and a life of glory, a life of honor, a life of a man who sought more than what he had in the frozen wastes of Bjarmaland. And as you can see here, looking at this, we have claimed it. We have claimed our place in the annals of history, and a glorious place it is, fighting many wars, winning many battles, losing only one. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but losing only one battle, the battle in Bjarmaland in the first campaign. Other than that, we have proven ourselves as probably one of the most capable commanders and warriors in Europe at this time. So, I think that is quite the life of a man, a warrior, a ruler, a king. King Satordi of Navara rests in the arms of the Lord at 61 years of age. He died of old age. Known to be an exceptional strategist, he spent many of his days examining fields and drilling his troops. King Sumarlithi ascends to the throne, a pious and humble man. Many fear that Sumarlithi may have been better suited for a church than the throne. I don't necessarily know if that is the case, but we have a new ruler, a new king of Navara, King Sumarlithi Satordi, son of House Stjarna. Now, we will be continuing the Clan Stjarna campaign. As you well know, we will be starting a new campaign in the very near future with the Elder Kings 2 mod, but we will be continuing The Clan Stjarna campaign Season 3 will begin soon, but we won't necessarily be starting as King Sumarlithi. In fact, I am going to be putting up a poll in the coming week to see where our campaign will take us, because we have options. As you can see here, obviously King Sumarlithi is an option to see how the forces and the battles and the conquests here in Hispania continue. But there are other options, and those other options will be to potentially continue our campaign in Season 3 under the Nordva branch of the dynasty, Jarl Frothi II, grandson of Jarl Frothi I, who has conquered these lands up here in Scotland. Will we take over him and potentially take this situation, which seems like a very difficult one to manage? The Jarl here is in a difficult position. Can we turn that around and end up becoming the kings of Scotland? That is a good question. We could potentially also take over once again as the king of Bjarmaland, King Vigfús, and go back to the land where we started this campaign and see what has gone on here and continue it from there. Or, and potentially the most interesting option to me, we can take over the Duchy of Moesia and play as Jarl Pudak and his dynasty, the House of Eirikur, and play as a vassal of this grand Byzantine Empire and play from a completely different perspective. So I will be leaving that poll, and we will be leaving that question up to you, and we shall see what is happening. So when we come back in the next episode, I don't know who we're going to be playing, but that is up to you. Until then, thank you for watching.